Hello and welcome to this podcast edition of Sam's Alternatives with me, Sam, episode 20. Hard to believe it's 20 episodes already and almost 6 months. So I believe it will be Tuesday, officially 6 months doing the YouTube podcast channel. Of course, today I'm chatting to Hodgie and also Lucas from Melbourne Metalcore / progressive metalcore band Lean In, who, hard to believe, have released 3 singles already. Compulsion, their latest single featuring Vatic, only dropped a couple of months ago. Just thought I'd jump on early before we got into the interview. There's been a whole heap happening. A lot of interviews have just been lined up. So, Sunday, June 1, I'll be chatting to Gavin from Discord. Then on the 17th of June, I'll be chatting to Distorter. And then on, of course, the 24th of June, Ryan and also David from Seek Misery will be jumping on. Sunday the 6th of July, I'll be chatting to, of course, Disgust. Then Tuesday the 22nd of July, OCD Band. Sunday, July 27, I'll be chatting to Snake Mountain. And, of course, Tuesday, August 5, I'll be chatting to Rise from Ashes. Stacks of brand new music has dropped. The Owen Guns have dropped their new album. Brooklyn Comic, also Brace, Black Moth, Caution Thieves, We the Hollow, Melancholia. So much brand new music has dropped since last episode. Of course, there's a few gigs happening this coming week. Common Evil, an Electric Funeral. Of course, Midweek Crisis at the Last Chance Rock and Roll Bar. We've also got the 29th of May at Stay Gold, the night before they play 170 Russell Street. Point North, 09.36, Vermont and Outloved. Then on the Friday night, as I just mentioned, 09.36 and Point North, they're playing with Heists and Ocean Sleeper, of course, at 170 Russell Street. The 13th of June, we've got Cultists, also Identity Era Graves, and of course, Body Prison at Stay Gold. There's just a whole heap happening in the next few weeks and months, and still plenty more to be announced with podcast interviews coming up. Thank you to everyone that has been liking, sharing, watching, doing all that, commenting on the videos. Really appreciate it. The last 2 episodes with Terry Truern, which was last Friday, and then of course New Age a couple of weeks ago, are all up on YouTube, as are all the previous episodes before those 2. This episode will be uploaded tomorrow morning before I go to work, as I've got not much on tonight. I'm just going to stay away from the footy, unless North are winning, but I highly doubt it against Collingwood. I will just watch it back tonight and then just do a recap and look at it, and if there's nothing wrong with it, go straight with it. Put it up on YouTube tomorrow morning around about 10 o'clock. And then the Spotify playlist featuring local bands and artists, including Lean In, which will have all 3 songs of theirs, which are, of course, Compulsion, Hourglass, and Room 25, will be part of that Spotify playlist as well. And then we got about a week's break nearly between interviews because, as I mentioned, Sunday, June 1, I'll be chatting to Gavin from Discord. Not the first time Discord have been on the podcast. Steve, one of the members of the band, joined the podcast back in 2023, I believe. I need to look back through Spotify to see what date he jumped on because, there's a few people that are doubling up or have been on multiple ones, like Those Left Behind, obviously. Engraved have been on multiple as well. And of course, Disgust have been on a couple as well, who will be joining me in July. Of course, they played a gig last night. Of course, Crave, Sienna from the band, jumped in for Jace, who couldn't perform last night. So I'm just sitting here waiting for, of course, Hodgie and Lucas to join. Not much else on for the rest of the day. It's a nice day out there at the moment, actually. It's actually quite pleasant. It's just a little bit cold outside, but not as much rain as we have had. Of course, Lean In. Of course, Daniel, the drummer of Lean In, is also the drummer of Ghost Seeker as well, if you're wondering. Of course, they've been only around about 7 or 8 months. because, of course, Room 25 came out in October last year. So, yeah, round about 7 months they've been a band. But, yeah, I've met, obviously, Daniel, Callum and Lucas. Michael's the only one I haven't actually met from Lean In yet. But how is everyone's weekend going? Can you believe we're almost in June already? How scary is that? I mean, we're more than 2/3 of the way through May already. This year is just flying before us. I mean, halfway through the year nearly. It's scary to think, and it only feels like yesterday. It was, of course, New Year's Day and the first day of 2025, and yeah, before we know it, it'll be halfway through the year, and then we'll be mentioning Christmas, which is still 7 months away, but the rate this year's going, it's going to be here before we know it. But yeah, I'm a big fan of Lean In. I went back and listened to their songs, of course, Room 25, Hourglass, and Compulsion before the interview, as I always do with bands. I generally listen to them on the day of the interview because I want to keep it fresh in my mind. Because if I don't keep it fresh in my mind and listen to it 3 or 4 days before the interview, I'll forget and go, oh, so that was done how it was, and this is what I liked about this song. So yeah, it's very important, or I think it's very important to listen back to the band's music you're interviewing. Now, some people might have differing opinions on that or just don't have the time, but with Lean In, with 3 songs, all it took was 20 minutes. So, yeah, that was easy done. I actually went back and listened to it a second time before the interview as well, which was really cool. But yeah, their music's awesome, and featuring Amaria from Future Static on their debut single, that's a huge get. I mean, Future Static are one of the biggest bands in Australia, if not right at the moment, outside of Parkway Drive. I reckon they're easily in the top 3 biggest bands in Australia, with Polaris and North Lane. It's hard to say though, like there's so many bands doing wonderful things at the moment. Like you look at someone like Red Hook, or you look at someone like, Alpha Wolf or Speed even. They're just making a name for themselves, not just here in Australia, but overseas as well. And for those that don't know, actually, speaking of Ocean Sleeper, because I did mention their gig next Friday at 170 Russell, they're touring the US later this year, which is awesome to see. Lads from Gippsland, from Sale. All right, Michael's in the lobby. I'll let Michael in and we'll start this interview. Hello, Michael.
Hey, what's going on? You can call me Hodgie.
Oh, Hodgie, sorry. I didn't know whether to call you Michael or Hodgie because on your Facebook
that's all good.
account it says Hodgie, but on Spotify it says Michael. So, all right, Hodgie then. Nice to meet you.
Yeah, but yeah, you too. Thanks for having us, Sam. Lance is going to jump on in a sec. I just got off a call with him. Yeah, I'm only called Michael when I'm in trouble by my mum. So feel free to call me Hodgie.
All right, yeah. So
nah, you're right. You didn't
know. Nah, that's all good. I was just doing a bit of a debrief and Lean In before you jumped on, just so the people know who I'm talking to, because you don't want to put it up on YouTube and people are like, so you're talking to this band, but you haven't actually mentioned who they are or what their songs are or anything like that. It'd be pretty embarrassing.
Yeah. No, that's fair enough. Thanks for that. Appreciate it.
I love your music, Hodgie, though. Like, I'm really digging Lean In, and you've only released 3 singles so far, and it's good singles, might I add.
Yeah, thanks so much. I really appreciate it. Being a new band, it's tough to kind of get out there and get heard. So it's really good to hear that you've heard it and you like it. Thank you.
And in the part before, I was mentioning that you have done collaborations already with Vadik and Amaria from Future Static, which that's a pretty big get to get Amaria from Future Static on your first single.
Yeah, I know. How are you, Lance?
Hello.
Hey, brother. What up, Sam? How you doing?
Good, thanks.
Sorry, I'm just taking a sec. I just got to try and set this up. All right, sick.
Don't want to look up.
We're G.
I'll just stay back so no one has to look up my nose because that's embarrassing on WebEx. I love the shirt too, Lucas. Throne, I mean,
Oh, thank you, mate. Yeah, got to. Absolutely got to.
Yeah.
Hell
Oh,
yeah, dude.
well, I better introduce Hodgie and Lucas because they're one half of Melbourne metalcore / progressive metal band Lean In, who, as I was mentioning to Hodgie before, have had a big 7 months for a band who's only just started.
Yeah, yeah, it's been great. Yeah, we're really, really happy with the reception so far, and yeah, it's been awesome.
Because, of course, for those who don't know, Lean In have, of course, collaborated with Vatic on Compulsion and Amaria from Future Static on Room 25. I mean, Future Static right at the moment. Maybe not as big as Parkway or Alpha, but they're not far behind right at the moment.
They're on the way up, definitely.
Yeah, they're getting there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
100%.
Well, and they get to play with Parkway on the Hellbound next year, which I'm annoyed that I've missed out on tickets to.
Yeah, no, that lineup is crazy for a cruise as well. That'd be sick. But yeah, I was definitely too slow to even consider getting tickets. It sounded like it was immediately sold out. Also, I
Well,
get seasick, so I don't know if that's a good idea.
would I pay that much to cure my seasickness? I mean, with Ocean Sleeper and Parkway, make them suffer butterfly effect, it'd probably cure the seasickness for a couple of days, maybe.
Yeah, yeah. I was just sad that they didn't do Ailstorm on it. I thought it would have been awesome to have like pirate metal on a cruise ship, but um, that was a missed opportunity. But that's all right. Maybe
Yeah.
next time. Maybe for the next one.
Yes. But also looking at the price, as much as I would love to see all those bands, I was like, I've got to get to Sydney firstly, and then that doesn't include food, and
Yeah, of course.
I don't know
Exactly.
how much that would end up costing. It'd be a lot of money though.
Yeah, yeah, got to get up to Sydney, got to pay food, drinks. Yeah, they get pretty pricey pretty quick, I think.
Mm. Lenin didn't get asked by Hellbound to play.
Not this time, maybe next one. What do you reckon, Hodge?
Yeah, we wish. Then we wouldn't have to pay fork out for a ticket. I missed out on one as well. So yeah.
Yeah.
But I see that they have implemented the payment plan, which is rightfully so, because who would have $5,000 straight up? I know I wouldn't.
Yeah. I
Mm.
So,
think what did they start at? Because I think there was like a couple of like I was very confused with the pricing at first. I was like I didn't really. It seemed like it was like 2,000 for or roughly 2 grand for like the cheapest cabins, and then sort of went up from there. But obviously, like I mean, honestly, I was very much considering it. But the how fast the tickets went, it honestly like was too quick for me to think about it. I guess so.
mm.
Yeah, I was considering it as well until I saw that it was actually from Sydney, and I was like, I don't want to have to go to Sydney
Yeah,
for
that's fair.
that. Like, if it went from Melbourne, then maybe. But yeah,
or
it's
Hopefully
good
the
to
even
be
next
there.
one.
or even like Geelong or Sorrento, just somewhere that's actually in Victoria.
Yeah.
Like, I
Yeah.
mean, look, I
Mm.
know Sydney to Melbourne's only an hour by plane, but still, you got to get to the airport, then get on the plane, and then
Yeah.
yeah.
Plane, boat, or
Exactly.
every mode of travel. So,
Uh,
yeah.
but no, I know a lot of people have bought tickets, and yeah, when you've got bands like Wind Waker, Make Them Suffer, Ocean Sleeper, Parkway alone, that's already a killer lineup.
Killer lineup. Also to the grave. Like,
Mm.
you gotta,
Mm.
that will be absolutely wild to see on a boat. That would be so sick. So, yeah, butterfly effect. Yeah, awesome.
They're an interesting band if people haven't checked out To the Grave. I've seen them a couple of times and they are quite wacky to say the least. In a good way.
Yeah, me and Hodgie, one of our favorites, hey, Hodge.
Mm.
They're from.
Yeah, they're so good. The first time I heard of them was the Night and Day Festival, and I saw they got added last minute. And I was like, "Who's this?" And I checked him out. Like, damn, these guys are sick. And then I went and saw them play, and people were kicking up dust everywhere. And I was like, "These guys are sick." And then I think I saw them play with Thy Art on the tour a couple of years back. And Lance, you were with me, I remember.
Yeah,
They opened for them, and they just blew them out of the water. It was crazy.
They were crazy. I saw him the first time at Cult Fest. I think their singer's name's Dane, sorry, and he came out and just like ripped the fattest pig squeal like immediately. And I just turned to my mate and was like, it was just crazy. I was like, whoa, damn. And they just like they were probably one of the best ons at Cult Fest. And yeah, I hadn't heard of them before that. I was like, well, I'll go check them out because someone said, oh, you got to check them out. They're really, really cool. And was just blown away by them. So yeah, I would love to see a boat set from To the Grave. So hopefully someone can film at least like the wastage breakdown at the end, and I guess I got to be happy with that.
I reckon the first time I saw To the Grave, this is years ago. This was around Nicolas Cage Fighter when they dropped their latest album with Static Abyss and Weeping Sores and that, which is probably 3 or 4 years ago. So I'm at the Workers Club, and I hadn't actually heard of To the Grave, like what Hodgie was saying when saw him at Night and Day. I'm like, who is this band? I mean, but no,
Yeah,
they
yeah,
killed
no,
it.
really good. Yeah, huge live band, massive.
All right. Well, of course, lean in. The gist of the interview is I ask Hodgie and Lucas Lance, what do you prefer?
Either, mate, whatever you feel. I think more people in the music scene probably know me as Lance. So
Okay.
whatever's easiest for you, mate, I'll respond to both.
All right, Lance, because if I call you Lucas, like Hodgie, it sounds like you might be in trouble. So, all right, let's start that again.
It's funny.
Lance and Hodgie from Lean In. The gist of the interview is I ask a bunch of questions about the band, and then at the end, if there's time, Lance and Hodgie have the floor and get to ask me a question.
Awesome. Love it.
Sounds good. Just before we kick off, I'm meant to be working today, so I'm just on my lunch break. I'll have to head back in about 40 minutes or so.
Oh yeah,
So,
no.
I think Lance can stick around.
Lance gave me a heads up Wednesday,
Oh,
I think
okay,
it
cool,
was.
yeah.
Wednesday or Tuesday,
Yeah,
I can't
sweet.
remember.
All right, cool. No
Yeah.
worries.
Also, this episode's going to be uploaded very quickly, actually, tomorrow morning, because I'm not working tonight, so I'll just watch it back after this. And yeah, it should be uploaded about 10:30 tomorrow morning, give or take.
Great.
Awesome. Yeah, sounds good.
And the Spotify playlist that I'll put up will feature all 3 singles.
Fantastic. I appreciate that very much.
Thanks, man.
Because they're my favourite songs. One of my favourite Melbourne band at the moment, actually, Lean In. I would almost, nearly. I think Thornhill might just have you at the moment, but
That's fair. That's very fair.
because
Their album's got album of the year for me.
my other favourite bands are actually regional, technically. So Ocean Sleeper, Common Evil, Excuse for an Exit. I know technically half of them live in Melbourne, but they are actually Gippsland.
Original band, yeah.
Yeah, true.
All right, so how did Lean In form as a band?
Actually, I think
So Lance and I were in a band a while back. Probably, I think we played our last show in 2017, and we were still interested in making music. We played with 3 other members, and they all joined other bands. I think so. The bassist joined Thornhill, and the drummer and guitarist joined Vatic. So Lance and I just sort of didn't have a project going on, and we sort of were just catching up as mates and just hanging out, and still was interested in music. And Lance was showing me all these cool songs and riffs he's written and stuff like that. And sort of COVID happened, and when we could, we would hang out and just go grab lunch and stuff, and he would be showing me. And we were trying to get something off the ground. And then one day, I think in 2021 or so, a friend reached out to me, not related to Vatic or Thornhill or anything, but a friend reached out to me and said, dude, I've heard your old stuff. Do you want to join this new band? And I said, yeah, sure. Then after a few practices with them, they said, we need another guitarist. And I was like, I know just the guy. The guitarist Lance. So we did actually trial 2 people, and Lance came. He knew all the songs already. The other guy didn't know the songs, so straight away they picked Lance. And I swear, I kid you not, every single time we had a band prac after that, next day would be locked down. So it kind of just really killed the momentum of the band. And
We
there were a
had
few
two.
members who,
Yeah, we had 2 straight. We did a prac, and then we would get a snap lockdown announced, and everyone from my work was like, "Dude, stop going to band prac. Like it's done, no more." It was very funny. Yeah.
and then so. Oh, sorry, go on there.
Oh, no, you go, Hodgie.
Oh no, I was just going to continue with the story, but you go on.
I don't know what I was going to say now. I've lost track.
Probably. Yeah, so then after that, we sort of just, some people's heart weren't really in it, and it just kind of fizzled out because of all these roadblocks and things like that. Like we hadn't recorded anything. We were practicing, yeah, and we had a few songs, but some guys, had a kid, and some guy joined another band, and then it kind of just fizzled out when they realized that they didn't really have their heart in it. So then Lance was like, I'm going to start a new band, you and Hodgie. And I said, yep. So we put out the feelers to all the guys in the previous band. The drummer said, yep. And the other guys were honest and said, look, I don't really have the capacity to do it right now. So me, Lance, and the drummer, Dan, who's in Ghost Seeker, just formed this band. Didn't really have a name yet. And we recorded 2 songs with Nick Strogan, and we sort of put feelers out for another guitarist. And Cal came to a prac, and we just gelled immediately, and that's kind of how it formed.
And of course, for those that don't know, I actually have met both Lance and Cal, and obviously Dan, because Ghost Seeker obviously pretty good connection with. But yeah, I actually saw Cal and Lance at the Ghost Seeker album launch, and like someone was talking to Ione. I'm like, who are they? And then they're talking to Dan. I'm like, oh, must be Lean In guys. And funnily enough, it was Lance and Cal.
Yeah, no, it was great to meet you. We'd obviously had so much correspondence with you online, so yeah, that was, and also that was a great show. Yeah, it was my first time seeing Ghost Seeker, which is terrible to admit, seeing as I'm literally in a band with the drummer. But I've been sick for the previous 2 shows, so it was nice to actually see him in action. He's a absolute menace behind the kid, so we're stoked to have him split duties with Ghost Seeker and us.
Now, is it just a common thing in Victoria that you must be a drummer if you're in 2 bands or more?
I'm surprised Dan's only in 2. I think people want him in more. So the funny thing is, once we were talking to his partner Neff, and they were saying that he wanted to join like a pop punk band to go along with like Ghost Seeker stuff, something a little lighter. And then just was like, oh, I like the drum parts that I'd written. So joined Lean In and said, which I don't think we're very close to pop punk. We can, yeah. So, but it's we're glad to have him. He's absolutely rips behind the kid. Yeah, we're very blessed. Both Dan and Cal are phenomenal musicians. So yeah, we're really stoked.
Well, and it comes across in your music, like just it sounds so well gelled together. The 3 singles so far, like. Unfortunately, I'm probably one of many people who hasn't actually seen Lean In, which I want to see Lean In live, but it seems every time Lean In are playing, there's another gig or I'm working, which is a pain in the ass because.
That's right. We might have something else for you coming up not too far away. So
yeah,
you can,
you got plenty of notice for this one. I think the last one was like a week and a half. This one's going to be a couple of months. So.
Yeah, but we can't talk about it yet. So.
Oh no, don't. No, don't poke the bear, Sam, because if you do that, then they will announce it on YouTube, and we don't want that. That's.
Oh no, I can't have.
I don't even know what date is it meant to be released.
I'll text you later.
We can do an announcement date, can't we?
Or no, I don't think so.
Oh, whoops.
No,
okay.
Maybe just leave the announcement date for when you actually have the announcement date.
The announcement. Cheeky Hodge. Love
Of
it.
course, the mentioning of drummers in multiple bands was referring to Jackson from Future Static. I know he's only now in
Yeah.
Future Static, but he
Mhm.
was in like 4 bands, and obviously Daniel from Ocean Sleeper is also in what are they? Dear Reckless. That's what I was trying to think.
Yeah, I feel like it's just a thing. Like drummers just love to put their hands in multiple pies and just like, yeah, be in multiple bands, which honestly dope. Like I think that's
Yeah.
grouse. Especially
Also,
if they're
there's
like
a
kind of different genres and that. I find that
mm,
cool.
yeah, there's been a drummer drought ever since I was in high school, like 15 years ago. There's not enough drummers, so anyone that you know that's a drummer, you got to get them on board because they're the
Yeah.
only ones that might be able to do it. So
Also,
if
I
there are any
guess,
kids watching, learn some drums.
yeah, learn drums, man. 100% learn drums.
And annoy the
But yeah,
neighbours as
also
much.
100%. But also, I guess it's like when guitarists are writing drum parts, then drummers are like, I'm gonna stay away from that band. So I only joke. I write some tough parts for Dan, but honestly, he rips them, so it doesn't matter. So it's funny because every time he rips a really hard drum part, I'm like, okay, cool, I'll just write something harder, and we'll see if we can break him.
Oh, you got to try a bit more, I think, to break down. I
Yeah,
think, yeah.
yeah. I don't think I could.
Nah. How did you come up with the band name Lean In?
So okay, so essentially we were called Rot for a while before we released any music. We had like got a logo designed and all that sort of thing, and um, we ended up, doing the thing where we searched it when we came up with the name, but because of sort of the band forming like towards the end of COVID, and we couldn't really do a whole lot. Um, for a bit in terms of releasing and that sort of stuff and starting to think about shows and that. By the time we ended up getting to like when we were ready to release, we, searched again and we're like, oh, there's a band in America that's named Right. They're fairly small, but they just got signed to like a small label. And we were like, look, we got big aspirations, we want to conquer the world, so to speak. So we kind of went back and forth and we're like, look, it's not worth the risk. Let's come up with a new name. Um, at the time, oh, man, like I mean, you can ask any band, and I'm sure it's the same. Like, you get 400,000 different suggestions in the chat, and you find a cool one, you look it up, and of course, it's taken, and it just kind of continues on. And at the time, I was, which I've been quite open about, I was struggling quite badly with my mental health, in particular panic attacks. So there was a stretch of like 3 to 4 days within this. There was a lot of other stuff going on for me. Um, and I was just having like 4 or 5 panic attacks a day, which is completely exhausting. And, I've like been in therapy and that sort of thing. So I sort of know my techniques, and my partner, Ruby's amazing. And she was really trying to help, calm me down and that sort of thing. And it, can I swear on the
Yeah.
pod, or is there
Oh,
no
I probably
swearing
should have
pod?
said
All right,
that
cool.
before we started, that swearing is
Fantastic. Because
actually
it's
okay. Whoops.
Yeah, cool. Because it was sort of at the point where I was like 3 or 4 panic attacks in a day, which is horrible to say and reflect on. But yeah, like really, really panicked, and my partner Ruby was just like, "Fuck it, lean into it." And I was like, "All right." So I just kind of let it wash over me and ended up passing. And I can't remember if it was her or me that said like, "Cool band name." Like when the dust settled, we were like, "Oh, lean in, cool band name." Haha, didn't think anything of it, and sort of came back to it, and I put it in the chat, and we're all like, yeah, that's pretty cool. But then we were like, oh, let's do something. We were kind of thinking a bit more, I guess, arty and a bit more heavy, but we kept coming back to it over and over again. And I think the thing that we liked about it is like, obviously when Rot was going to be the band name, it's like, let's be honest, like Rot's a heavy band name. Like you can't be like, oh, hey, we're gonna release our new album that's a bit more rocky and a bit more alty and that sort of thing. And our band name's Rot. Like people do it. I mean, the Killers are an indie band, so like that obviously is the way to do it. But it kind of just felt like Lean In also like there was a few things that we really liked about the band, or maybe that I liked personally, and I think the boys did as well, which was it's kind of not really got a genre to it. Like you can kind of be a bit of anything. It also represents a lot of what the band stand for in terms of mental health and I guess care for mental health and writing about it as well, and writing about things that are really tough and really emotional. And yeah, I guess like that's kind of why we really resonated with it. So yeah, that was honestly the reason that it came about. I'm stoked because now that I look back on it, I'm like, oh, Rot's kind of like, I mean, it's fine, but it's like I much prefer the band name Lean In. I think it's much more artistic and a lot more fun. Leave us open to more possibilities as well.
No, that's a very valid point about the multiple possibilities, because Rot, when you hear the name Rot, it sounds like a deathcore or a death metal sort of band. Lean In could mean
Hmm.
7 or 8 different genres. Like, there's not one you
Yeah.
could leave it to, really.
Yeah, and I think that's what really attracted me to it personally. And I think that, um, yeah, for the boys in general, I think we all kind of gravitated towards having some artistic freedom in that respect.
Because
Yeah.
I'm not attacking bands here, and this is not what I'm trying to do, but I think there's a lot of bands out there that have a word like and or the in it, and you think, oh, let's call us the band, and it's like it's sort of being done to death. There are some absolute gems here in Australia with the and in the title, but
Mm.
it's sort of like I feel like Australian bands are starting to get a grip on like thinking outside the box of a band name or what they want to be. Like, I don't know what I'm
Yeah.
trying to say. I'm not getting my words out, but you
Nah,
sort of.
yeah, I get what you're saying, and it's kind of nice to for us, like we I think it wasn't even really an intentional thing. Obviously, like it was a passing comment. But the other thing that we kind of reflected on after, and it was written in our bio, I think it still is on Spotify, but like whatever the emotion we lean into it, kind of walking towards emotions and difficult feelings as part of what the band stands for, but also like what we I guess write about. Like I've been quite public of like, so me and Hodgie for this EP split lyrics, which I'm really grateful for, because I said to Hodgie like I'd gone to like a mental health inpatient hospital and come out, and I said, Hodgie, I want to write some stuff about this, and he was like, fuck yeah, dude, let's do it. Like immediately, like one of the most selfless musicians I've worked with. He wasn't like, hey, I'm the vocalist, I write lyrics. It's yeah, let's share some stories together, and we've done that throughout the EP, and I think it makes us a stronger band for it. But also, like, I could have very easily and probably more comfortably hid behind playing guitar and writing parts. But I thought it was important to, yeah, lean into, so to speak, the fact that we had experiences that we would like to express. So that's what Room 25 and Compulsion primarily come from. And Hodgie's done the same thing. Like, there's some real pain in some of our lyrics. Throughout the EP, pretty much. I mean, we're a metal band. We're not singing about like flowers and love songs, but hey, it's not off the cards, you know. So yeah,
Lean in
yeah.
ballad. Well, every band has a ballad, or most bands I know
Hey,
of.
we gotta. Hey, stay tuned. You never know.
It's like
Hodgie's pretty romantic, I feel like.
a romantic song, like it's got to be released on Valentine's Day. Then, if it's a romantic song, just
Yeah, we can do that.
That's a good idea.
even
Like
though
that.
Valentine's Day isn't for another 9 months or whatever it is, but
Strike gives us time to write our best riff yet.
Mm. But yeah, that's some pretty powerful stuff, though. What you were saying, and mental health is a huge thing here in Australia at the moment. And if people out there are battling and not like struggling, sort of thing, please do talk up, reach out. There's helplines. There's talk to friends, family. Don't bottle it up.
100%.
or
100%.
write it in your music, like Lean In have.
100%.
Good
The,
outlet.
100%.
I agree.
the other thing that I found very important about that part there was, Lance, you were saying about vocalists that share ideas with other members of the band with lyrics and what the song wants to be about. I think that is a huge key to a successful band, because if everyone's on the same length or the same page and is open to suggestions, I think things can still go wrong. We know that, but I think if everyone is having a say and putting stuff out there, then I think it's very important for bands to work on that.
100%. Like I always give we're a really collaborative band, which I really like. I mean, to the point where we were like, what, maybe not less than a week out from recording the other
I was
3
going to say
tracks on
this
the
as well.
EP, which was you can you can tell it if you want, Hodgie. I was still mad at you for it a little bit, but
Oh,
Yeah. So yeah, we had he's mad, but it worked out for the best.
that was
So
great.
what happened was, Lance had written these bloody awesome songs, and I was listening through to it, and I was listening to an Architect song like the same day, and I was like, this is missing something before the next chorus. So I was like, Lance, we need to have something like this. Well, I think it'll be really cool if we had something like this before the breakdown. It was a very kind of groovy. I don't know if you can recall. It's in Compulsion. So
It's your triplet
I think
feel.
on the last. Yeah,
It comes out of the like a really heavy breakdown, and then it goes like a
after
triplet feel
Matt's
breakdown.
bad.
Yeah,
Yeah, after
and it's
his
just
part
Hodgie.
is kind of yeah.
And like, and Hodgie's like, oh, like this breakdown's really cool, and the end chorus is really cool. I think it could use something like, and then plays an Architect's like very fast triplet feel sort of breakdown, and was like, something like this could be cool. And I was like, my brother, we're like recording in 3 days. I'm still like going over getting tight with the parts, because at the time Cal wasn't in the band at the time, so I'm prepping for like just doing all guitar and all bass, because we don't have a bassist. My trusty MacBook Pro is playing all our bass tracks, but I'm like, dude, I'm still like learning I'm still getting it really tight, getting all my pick attack right, all that sort of stuff. And he's like, yeah, you can do it though. And I was like, yeah, cool. I go home, I record something, I send it back, and Hodgie's like, exactly what I meant. And I was like, fantastic, because I wasn't going for multiple like back and forth reviews. But no, like I joke about it, but like it made the song so much better. And that's the thing of like, yeah, being just because Hodgie doesn't play like an instrument in the band doesn't mean that we are like, oh, you're the vocalist, just write lyrics. It's like, nah, please like throw ideas, because that ended up being like, honestly, it's kind of one of my favorite parts to play live now, which is very funny. I haven't admitted that to Hodgie yet, but I will now. But
Yeah.
yeah, it's really cool. So yeah, as mad as I was at him in the moment, I love him for doing that, because it made the song infinitely better, and that's all we do. That's all we want to do, is just make the song better.
So we're talking old school Architects or new school? Because it's a bit of a difference
What
in.
was the reference? It was old school
Broken
because it's Hodgie.
Cross.
Yeah,
Not that old school, yeah. Broken Cross, what album's that of?
That's not
that would have been Lost Forever.
Lost Fair, yeah, that's
Yeah,
cool.
Lost Together, Lost Forever, Lost Together. Is it? I can't remember the order of it, but yeah,
Got
it
on
was
my phone. Lost Forever, Lost Together.
and it was that sort of like really energetic feel of because it was hard to move from a slow breakdown to a like slow chorus with not much in between. So it was that whole like, we want to move the song along. It worked really well. I ended up putting some leads in it to soften it a bit, and it was really nice. Like I think it worked so well for it. And then um, vocally, Hodgie crushed that bit with the like repeated lines from the chorus, and it was really cool.
Mm, and I envy any person out there, vocalist, drummer, guitarist. I couldn't do it, like recording music or put lyrics together. I leave it to these guys, the professionals. I don't think I could ever write a
Bless you.
song, literally.
I mean, look, I thought that for a long time, and I mean, I feel like um, I try and write at least 2 or 3 times a week. Ideally every day something, but life gets in the way sometimes. But um, Hodge would know because he gets inundated with the amount of riffs that I'll send him and then be like, "No, I don't like it," or like I'll send him something and be like, "Dude, check out this riff," and it's like 20 seconds, but it's just just practicing and honing the craft, but it takes a really long time.
Mm. And I guess, yeah, just plugging away, something will come of it, obviously, and it has with Hourglass,
That's
with
it.
Compulsion, with Room 25. I think every song has something different to it, and that's what I really admire because when I listened back to the 3 songs today, I was like, if I wasn't doing the interview, I could probably listen to this on repeat all day
Oh, bless you, man. That means a lot to us. That's
Yeah,
awesome.
that's very kind. Thank you.
because I just feel like the metal scene here in Victoria, I'm not saying there isn't a metal scene around Australia as well. We've got metal bands everywhere. I feel like the Melbourne metal scene at the moment is probably the best I've seen it, probably in 10 years, easily.
Yeah, popping off at the moment. So many good bands. Yeah, it's awesome.
Mm.
Yeah, it's really good at the moment. Really cool meeting new people, playing gigs and playing with old friends and new. It's been awesome.
Yeah.
And the Melbourne metal scene, I reckon, comes together like it's everyone's there to help each other. I don't know, like, and I've got to be careful how I say this, but I don't like the bands, and there's not many that I've come across that are about themselves and not wanting to help other bands achieve their goals or dreams.
Yeah, I
Mm.
think it's one of those things that's like everyone benefits from building like a really cohesive and supportive scene. Like, um, I'll find bands from just going early to a show, which is what obviously we want as a small band, getting people to come early. So like doing the same thing for other bands and that sort of stuff and checking them out. Cause like there is so much good talent. Like I went to Nightlight show and every single band on the bill absolutely killed it. And it's like if you don't get there early, you're gonna miss out on really good music. You pay the ticket for the whole show. But I feel like I don't know. I've been really very like I feel like we've been really lucky. Like I've only met really supportive bands and people in the scene thus far. So um, yeah, it's been awesome.
Oh, I love Nightlight. They're an
So
interesting
good.
band. I don't actually know what I'd describe them as. If someone asked me describe Nightlight, I'm like, I don't know, pop punk fusion. I don't know what.
I've I've been describing them because I've been trying to get people at work around it, and I've been describing them as like girly pop with metalcore, and like just and being like you just have to listen to a song. Like you
Mm.
can't, they kind of just go and genre blend. Just like put on anything from their EP, it smacks, like absolutely crushes. So. Just put on Nezumi. Like that song is so much fun. Like
Oh,
me and Hodgie went to see them. It was last week, wasn't it, Hodge? And
Yeah, I think so.
I
Mm.
couldn't stop. It was the day after our show, and I just couldn't stop singing Nezumi. What if I'm the devil? Crushing after. Like I was just at work, just incessantly, just like over and over again, just having like earworms in my head. But it was so much fun. It was so good.
and of course, for those that haven't seen Nightlight, they do a cover of Kingslayer by Bring Me the Horizon and
Yeah,
Baby Metal as well. And at work
so
last
good.
night, I got stuck singing Kingslayer. I'm like, oh, you don't sing the chorus out too loud, Sam. That's.
No, that's awesome.
I feel like Nightlight. This is a probably weird collaborate, a weird comparison. I think of them as sort of a if Baby Metal and Red Hook were mashed into a blender, you'd have a bit of Emmy and you'd have a bit of Baby Metal. It's a weird
Yeah,
comparison, but I feel like there's a bit of Emmy in the vocalist. I don't know why, but
yeah, yeah. No, I rate that. I rate that. No, Laura's super talented, like super, super talented. She jumped up for our
Mm.
because they opened for us very graciously at our headliner last year,
Yeah.
and Laura jumped up to do Ami's parts and just ripped. So good. She's so good.
Mm.
Yeah.
Nah, I've
Awesome
seen,
stage presence. Incredible voice.
and not like I just saw her playing with Broken Earth and North Road in July at the Lead Beater.
Yeah, sick.
Just got
Yeah.
announced yesterday, I think.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah. It's gonna be sick.
All right. Well, what has the response been like for Compulsion, or in the sense, what's the response been like for all the singles?
Hodge?
Yeah, that's been really positive. Obviously, we hit it off with the feature from Amy. So, we had some big names watching us and reacting to us. So it kind of really got our name out there. And we were featured on Dreambound as well. So we were really stoked with that. Got featured on a bunch of playlists too. Um, our our first show was our headline, so it was everything we could have asked for. Sold out show. The crowd was just going nuts, and it was awesome. So, and Compulsion as well, being our latest single, we had really good feedback on that. So, yeah, people are just loving it. So we're just going to keep up the steam and momentum, see where it takes us.
No. And getting some big names watching it, I mean, that for a band, for any single, but for your debut single, that's pretty special to have some pretty big names watching Room 25.
Yeah,
That's,
it
Yeah,
was
that's
really
good.
cool. Yeah, it was really cool. It was nice to obviously like getting a band off the ground and like releasing that first single was extremely nerve-wracking and it's quite vulnerable. But yeah, our feedback was yeah, honestly like really we feel like it's been really good. And people seem to be resonating with the fact that we're doing some experimentation in some of the tracks. Like obviously we've got the sort of track beat in Hourglass, we've got the sample at the start of Compulsion, just some different elements. We had Matt rip the breakdown of Compulsion, which was awesome. Obviously, Ami's parts were incredible in Room 25. So, yeah, we've been blessed to also have some help for some really incredible musicians as well. Um, and then obviously we got Hodgie just ripping vocals as well on all three tracks. He's got an absolutely incredible voice. So we've had really good feedback and we're really stoked. So yeah, we're just gonna keep pushing forward.
mm. And the first single, I think, as you said, the most nerve wracking because it's sort of, you've worked all this time, tireless hours and days, recording, producing, mixing, and then to release it to the world, it's, yeah, it's pretty special. And I mean, what, nearly 5,000 streams on Spotify for Room 25 already. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's,
nah, it's awesome. It's really
now,
cool.
no, Sam, leave that for another. I was going to say the streams first, how much you earn, but it's, yeah. Let's leave that, Sam. It's been done to death.
Look, that's all right. We're happy. We've sold a lot of merch at our shows and that which like we're so grateful for. It's really cool seeing people rock the merch and um, we still have four designs. I mean, that's how bands are gonna obviously recoup costs and that sort of stuff. We're still. I'm gonna do a little shameless plug here, but we still have four designs up on our big cartel. So uh, yeah, go and check out merch. Hodgie designed all four. Well, one of them was the artwork, which was designed by my partner's dad, actually, who's a phenomenal artist. But we adapted it to the shirt. But yeah, Hodgie did everything in house. The space tee looks ridiculous. We got like a really cool pink tee. Yeah, Hodgie just a wizard, man. Not only just a good vocalist, but also like does all our, which is rad because obviously like it means that we can pester him with like 3,000 tiny little adjustments. For Hodgie, and he's if he showed you his inbox when we are designing merch, it's like just me being like, would you mind just maybe trying the font? Like, I know it's 11. Do you mind trying it as 12 and also like slightly off center? Oh, actually, no, that looks bad. Go back to what it was. And he's like,
Yeah, go back.
yeah, all good, man. He's always happy to do it too. He's too nice to me. I'm such a pest.
Yeah, I was gonna say we design all our merch ourselves, so but um, yeah, it's been really cool being creative in other ways as well. So no, it's awesome. And there's stuff that we'd be proud to wear as well.
Yeah,
So yeah, it's been really awesome seeing people come to our gigs and wearing the shirt that they bought last gig. It's really cool.
bananas. So cool. Such a cool thing.
Repping bands merch. It's I'm running out of room in my wardrobe for merch. I keep saying, oh, I won't buy something, and then later on, towards the end of the night, I go to the merch desk. Well, oh yeah, shit, I wasn't meant to buy anything. Whoops.
No, we appreciate it. And
Yeah.
I'm sure every band does so much because it's obviously a huge lifeblood of every band is your
Mm.
merch. So
Yeah, and whether it's a hat, stubby holder, t-shirt, or the whole lot, like I've seen some.
earrings,
Yeah.
Nightlight did earrings at their show. I'm not wearing it right now. Sorry, Nightlight, but it's a like great big dagger. It looks cool as I got a pair of those. So yeah, really,
Yeah.
really cool.
Beanies. I've got a alienist beanie because I was wanting to get a t-shirt when they were here in Melbourne. They're like, what size are you? I'm like, large, and like, only medium. I'm like, I'll just buy a beanie then. It was cold too, so it sort of
Nice.
worked in perfectly.
Yeah,
Mm.
100%.
All
Sick.
right. Which band in Australia or around the world would Lean In like to be the support act for?
Well, Lance can
Or
take this one.
well, look, I'll just speak for myself. Mine would be Silent Planet right now. Like if it was right now, especially someone who is within our genre. Silent Planet are like super special to me personally, just because of obviously like what I've written lyrics about. If you've ever been to a Silent Planet show, you know that Garrett has written about his mental health struggles. I find him really inspiring. And also their musicianship live is bananas. Like I saw him with Error. On the tour that just came down. I mean, I love both bands, Error and Silent Planet, amazing, but like the energy of Silent Planet was like a punch to the head. Like it was just so like they came out and it was just like, whoa, that was so intense. But yeah, in a really amazing, like it's so tight, but also there's just so much feeling. It just like hits you so hard. Um, yeah, so honestly, I would just love to tour with Zion Plan, and I think what they go about things in a really emotional and vulnerable way, and I think that's really cool. And I think like every part of their music, like the meaning, the emotions behind it, I adore. But also like Mitch is the most ridiculous guitarist. Like I would just want to study that man and how he works and writes. I mean, Alex Camarena, the drummer, is just like, I mean, he's the ghost note king. Like, he's just got so much feel. Yeah, they're incredible. So I would just absolutely love to tour with them, do a show for them, like whatever. So hopefully, who knows? Maybe one day, and I'd be happy as.
Was that Banks Arcade tour with Silent Planet, or am I thinking of
I
another
believe
one?
so.
Yeah.
Oh, I actually can't remember. I honestly, Resolve opened for that tour. And then there was somebody, Mirrors. No, so not Banks. Okay, it was Mirrors. I'm pretty sure it was Mirrors, Resolve, uh, Silent Planet, and Error.
Error.
I I could be getting it wrong. I've been to like a million shows this year, which is awesome. I'm so like glad to, but I'm just getting everything mixed up at the moment. So people were like, "Oh, who opened for Chelsea Grin and Currents?" And I was like, "Oh, Four Weather." And I was like, "Wait, no, they were Landmarks, which was the exact same weekend." And I
Yeah.
was at both, but it was yeah, that show was crazy. Arrow and Silent Planet, but Silent Planet would be my number one. What about you, Hob?
Yeah, I reckon Silent Planet will be really sick.
Hey, let's hit them
Might
up.
be, yeah, might be a while away, but yeah, that'll be amazing. Just
Yeah.
their energy and even their sort of not only their style of music, but the emotion and rawness of their music would really suit with us. So yeah, it'd be perfect in my opinion.
Yeah.
I think I'm mixing up the Banks Arcade era North Lane show from last year. I think I'm mixing.
Yeah.
That's what I'm mixing up. I forgot.
Error have come out a fair few times. Like Error seems to be here quite often, which I'm not complaining about. I love them. They are absolutely flawed. So more than happy to watch them as much as possible.
Yeah, actually, Mirrors have had a couple of big gets of playing with bands. They played with Polaris a couple of years ago, and then, as you mentioned, Error and Silent Planet. I'll
Oh,
try that again.
great band.
Mm.
Mirrors are so sick. I was upset because I missed the start of Mirrors set because the merch line was so long for Error and Silent Planet, and I was just like having a little solo mosh in the merch line. But yeah, no, that was sick. That was
That's
so
the only
sick.
thing I hate about merch lines is if it's a long queue and you're wanting to be up the front for the first band. That's why I try and go, like, this isn't disrespecting bands I've seen multiple times. I always go to the merch line if it's a band that I'm going to the merch line for that I've seen multiple times. So then I know at least if I don't see all of them, I've seen them before.
Plus, you're supporting them by buying some merch, so I
Yeah.
mean that's awesome. Yeah,
Yeah.
100%.
I think
Just quickly, I've just got 2 minutes left. If there's any last thing for me, Lance, I don't know if you're in down.
I can stick
Yeah,
around.
yeah,
Well,
cool.
this is a bit out of whack, Hodgie, but maybe the last 2 minutes, maybe the if you had a question you wanted to ask me before you go.
Yeah, for sure. I did think of a good one actually. So if because you're a fan of the first three songs, what sort of things are you looking for in future songs, either different or
Ooh,
similar
I like that one,
from a
Hod.
band like us?
Oh, put me on the spot with 2 minutes to go, too. I like it. What am I looking for in future lean in songs? Oh, I don't. I don't want to sound offensive because I love your music and I don't want to tell you how to do things because obviously Sam's never been in a band and wouldn't know the first thing about what's to be brought to a song or not. But I feel like I'm always a huge fan of breakdowns.
Yeah.
Oh, Sam, you're gonna love our next one.
Okay.
Yeah, that's not too far away as well.
I
It's
just
sooner than you think.
I don't know why I just love breakdowns. I don't know what it is about it, but like in what's the song by In Heart's Wake with Jamie Hales? Heartbringer. That breakdown in Heartbringer by In Heart's Wake, where it goes silent and then it goes Heartbringer, and it's just like out of nowhere. It just when it's put in the perfect position at the right time with the right person, it's killer.
Mm,
Yeah, sick. Okay. Good to
yeah.
know. It's always good to get that outside perspective. Like you said, you haven't played in a band before, but so have the majority of people who probably listen to us. So, you know, it's good to see that from an outside perspective. So yeah, thanks, Sam. Yeah, with that, I've got to get back to work. So thank you so much for having me.
Um,
Sorry I couldn't spend more time with you, but I'm sure we'll get to catch up in the future.
That's plenty of time, Hodgie. That's nearly 50 minutes. I mean, far out. I was thinking maybe 20 minutes or something, but no, 50 minutes is shitloads of time.
Yeah, well, I wish I could have given you all, but yes, got to work on Saturday sometimes, so it is what it is. But
Uh,
yeah, thanks again. I will be listening to the whole thing and listen to what you and Lance talk about. So I'm looking forward to that as well.
no, it's been an absolute pleasure having a chat with you, Hodgie. And one of these days, as much as we are meeting over WebEx, so we see each other, it'd be actually good to meet the final member of Lean In that I haven't met yet.
Yeah, definitely. I'm even more annoyed that I missed that show now that I didn't get to meet you.
Bergie's not exactly the easiest room to go in and just go in discreetly, just think, oh, no one will notice who you are. Bergie's like stay gold. You can't avoid it. It's
Yeah.
just.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's it. All right. Thanks, fellas.
No
You
worries,
too. Enjoy.
Hodgie. Have a good day.
Say hug.
Thanks, guys.
Oh. All right. This is part 2, so it's Lance and Sam. So, well, funnily enough, Hodgie hasn't left us with much, actually. We've got through a whole stack of stuff already. I mean,
Fantastic.
so
Nah, that's
really,
all right.
Lance, 2 more
Yeah.
questions. That's probably it, actually. So,
Yeah, awesome. Yeah, great.
and they're pretty stop standard ones. Where do you see Lean in 5 years' time?
Oh, that's a good question. Honestly, look, like I'm tempted to. Yeah, that's a good question because like I think it's tempting to when asked that, like I think um talk about like where we want to be touring and like what we want to be because like look by then we would love to be a like regularly touring band and a band that is showing our art to more and more people. I think where I see myself as part of the band, as the band as a whole, is just like becoming as good a musicians as we possibly can be, which I know might sound quite cliche, but is to develop, I guess, the sound of, like what our experience, because we love to experiment as writers and how kind of far that can take us. But I guess also just like sharing our art with more people and touching on more subjects that are difficult. That's always been something that's really important to me is like, you know, when we wrote all this EP, none of it is, I guess, stuff that's easy to talk about. Sorry, one sec.
No, you're right.
But yeah, I think it's stuff that's difficult to talk about and things like, and we want to make people feel that stuff safely and like with, I guess, kind of without any restrictions on either ourselves or them to feel those things. So while I'm tempted to be like, I'd love to be touring the world and that sort of stuff, which like that is what we want, and that's where we do see this as a growing thing and trying to grow as fast as possible. We're also just really focused on getting to the root of like why we're doing this, and that's to get people to feel things that they maybe don't feel safe feeling in um I guess in other way, like for example, like I talk quite a bit about the fact that for me personally, not much makes sense apart from music. Like music seems to be the language that I can understand, and um, I really want to share that with more people. So hopefully, look, our goal in 5 years, and I can't speak on behalf of the band without knowing exactly if this is everyone's goals at this exact moment, but roughly in the next 5 years to have, we got another EP that we're writing currently, before finishing releasing the first one, which is good. But I'd like to have a couple of albums as well. And if we were to look at this date in 5 years, I'd want to have 2 albums, 2 EPs, and be really invested in sharing that art with other people. Yeah, that's kind of what I see us doing in 5 years as being playing a whole lot of music to hopefully a whole lot of people.
And realistic goals there too, Lance. I mean, okay, anyone that's in a band or an artist know that producing albums, recording albums, CPs is not a cheap thing.
No,
But
unfortunately not.
no, I wish it was just, $10 per session to record an EP or an album, but those days are gone
Yeah,
long
wouldn't that be
ago.
nice? Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm also learning to not that I'm not sure if I would do our own stuff right now, but I've been upskilling a lot in production and that sort of thing. Because I just find it, I think for me personally, I find it really cool that because I think production goes a really long way into how you feel about something. And this is no like, I mean, this is no disrespect to any different mixes because I guess it's like depends on how you want something to feel. But a good mix and a bad mix can really destroy a song if a mix is really really poor.
Yeah,
Um, and I think like being able to do at least some of that myself also means like even if we don't end up mixing our own stuff, which I'm kind of in two minds about, I kind of like giving that to someone else to have another perspective of how to feel. Um, but it means that I can be more aware of choices while we're writing and production and that sort of stuff. So, but it would be really cool if we could do it so we could, I don't know, do some kind of we could produce more music because yeah, budget wise, that's it's definitely helpful.
and look, there. Don't get me wrong. I've heard of some amazing people that produce and mix music here in Melbourne, here in Australia. I mean, Ione Heckenberg from Ocean Sleeper, of course,
Love Ione.
nicest guy in the world, but fuck, he's produced and mixed some good music outside of Ocean Sleeper, and that's look, no
He did
disrespect.
Ghost Seekers.
Yeah,
He did Ghost Seekers new stuff, and that is bananas.
yeah.
Like it almost blew my AirPods out when it gets that big toms in the interment. Yeah, so good.
He also, I don't know if he fully did it, but he did most of not Nezumi or Nightlight's EP. I think he did Nezumi and a couple of other songs off the EP too.
Yeah, I know he definitely worked with them. I thought he did the whole EP, but I could be wrong. I know that they worked with him because we we're talking about potentially working with him as well. And I mean, we've worked with him for our music video. So him and Jaden Colvin from Outloved did our music video, and they are the two nicest people. Like that was such a fun
Yeah.
day. Yeah, Ione is an absolute sweetheart. He shout out to him because our first headliner, my whammy pedal was just like not working. It was like creeping up, so my guitar was going out of tune constantly. And he was like, "Yeah, bro, just use mine. Like, come grab it. You can use it for the week." So shout out to Ione. Thanks, man.
And I couldn't find two nicer people than Ione and Jade. And actually, the Outlove guys,
Yeah,
I can't speak highly enough of. Um, the
yeah, they're all
one,
lovely.
and this is no attack at Outloved at all, but one thing I did find is that if they're at the merch desk and you're walking past and they want to chat, it's not going to be a 2 minute chat with the Outloved guys.
That's the best though. I love that. I love that. I'm Italian, so like no, there is no 2 minute chat.
Oh
So
God,
I'll probably be much the same.
yeah. I didn't realize how much Lucas loves to chat. I reckon I was at the merch
Yeah.
desk for 20 minutes at the Terrelgan gig,
Oh, that's great.
just with Lucas. I'm like, oh crap, Ocean Sleeper are about to play.
No, I love that. That's great. That's
But
so
nah,
good.
yeah, have all the time in the world for Ocean Sleeper and Outloved. I mean, all the guys
Yeah.
in both bands have a lot of time for.
Yeah. 100%.
But and for those that don't know, Ocean Sleeper just announced they're touring America today too.
So sick. That's so cool.
They
Got a lot of
are
dates on there as well. It's dope.
they are slowly becoming one of the biggest metal bands in this country, and it's
100%.
awesome to see, given that they're from my neck of the woods too originally. So
100%. And also so well deserved. Such good music. Like, honestly, yeah. Stoked for him. And yeah, I unfortunately haven't met the whole band, but yeah, Ione is just such a lovely soul. Couldn't happen to a better dude.
yeah. Funny story about Ocean Sleeper, and funnily enough, involves mirrors as well. My friend went over to Froth and Fury last year. Sorry, the year before 2023, because Ocean
Mhm.
Sleeper and Mirrors were both playing that. And she must have been wearing like an Ocean Sleeper or a Mirrors t-shirt. And they go, "Oh, you're wearing our merch," and she's like, "Yeah, I'm from Moe," and they're like, "Oh, no way!" Like two different
That's really cool.
states.
Yeah. No, really cool. Love that.
It's just like, yeah, because Mirrors, I think not all of them still are in Gippsland, but I know Pat was living in Gippsland a little while ago, and they're definitely from this neck of the woods. I think they're all based in Melbourne now, but yeah,
Yeah,
it's
no, it's awesome. It's really cool. Regional bands tend to just like absolutely dominate. Really, really good. So.
mm. Especially interstate regional bands. There's a lot of good bands coming out of regional New South Wales at the moment.
Yeah, I guess it just shows if you put good music out there and like there's like it must be really hard because like obviously like I'm really blessed I'm in Melbourne, so like I don't have to travel very far to get to shows. Like I know the amount of support that you have for the local scene, especially like living out and having to travel a really significant way for gigs. One, I really admire you for that. I think that's
Mm,
amazing. And we're very grateful for it as well as a scene. Um, but yeah, obviously like and playing same sort of thing. You got to like obviously load in and load out and get everything, leave a really long time. But I guess it just shows like if that passion goes with into your work ethic and you're happy to make those sacrifices and for what you love doing, like the results come if there's really good music and you're doing it the right way, and that's awesome. So it's really cool to see like that distance doesn't like stop bands from just giving it a shot and just like working really hard and obviously like some of the biggest bands that we've got, which is so cool. That's really, really
mm,
cool.
nah. And yeah, it's sort of like if you're from regional Victoria, I get asked this a lot, why don't you go to gigs down your way? It's like Traralgon has one or two gigs a year. And okay, we've got like Ocean Sleeper and Gloom before, but if I want to see the Alpha Wolves or the Wind Wakers or the, you know, Heists, whoever it is, 99.9% of the time I have to travel to Melbourne to see those bands, which
Yeah.
I have no issue with doing because I would travel. I'd probably travel to Queensland to see Alpha Wolf again, literally. But
So they're so good. I saw when they did their headline at the forum, it was really lovely because I was watching Lockie just like talk about how much it meant for them as a band. And like, I mean, that's like the mecca for me in terms of what like if there was a single place that I could play, especially headline, uh, to be like that's a career well done. Like the forums, like I think it's just so unique. It's like such a beautiful venue. It sounds incredible. It's my favorite venue I've ever been to. Um, yeah, like I just and seeing that was super cool, and they ripped that show. That show was so sick. So, um, yeah, it's really cool. They're dope. Like so much fun.
And I mean, Forum, like outside of Max Watts, probably the easiest to get to from Flinders Street if you don't drive.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah, 100%. Just a 2 minute walk from Flinders, and away you
yeah.
go.
Oh, you
Yeah,
just
nice
got to
and
get
easy.
across that annoying intersection near Fed Square to.
Yes. Yeah, of course.
See,
Yeah.
Max Watts, it's still not that far, but you got to walk across Flinders Street and Swanson and then to Little Collins. It's probably another 5 minutes on top of what the Forum is, but they're
Yeah.
both easy to get to.
Both nice and easy. Yeah, for sure. 100%.
No. Well, the last question, Lance, is what advice would you give to bands and artists starting out or wanting to be in a band?
Oh, I mean, like, look, I mean, obviously we're still quite small, so like my advice is uh probably honestly like we're just figuring it out to be honest. But I guess I don't know, mine would be like if you want to play music and you want to do it just like as easy as it is to say, because obviously, like budget wise, it's hard to go and record a single and that sort of thing. But like, if you're able to and you're able to like go out, get a single recorded and release it, just like if you can, just do it. Like, I guess it's kind of that you can almost get like paralyzed by the perfection of it. Just like release the first thing, and just have fun with it. And if you do have things that you can get out through your music like that, um, that will always be my advice for people. Is like as someone who, as I said, like for me, I guess music didn't. Sorry, life didn't make very much sense to me until I had music. And for me, it feels like the language that I can actually understand. Like I struggle to express myself as clearly. I've gotten better at it, but I can express how I feel much more through songwriting than I can through, and also much more vulnerably and much more accepted. If we have the pleasure of seeing you at the show, you'll see that my on stage persona is very different because it's the parts of me that I guess I like can get out in a really comfortable and safe space and can play with and have like character and fun with, and there's not really any rules. It's really really fun in that way. It's very freeing. So I think like yeah, I would my advice would just be like, hey, if you're starting out and you're apprehensive and you're like, I don't know if my stuff's good enough, or we've all had that feeling. I think every single band in the world has had that feeling and that like fear and vulnerability. And like my partner, who's an artist, who's theatre maker and filmmaker and that sort of thing. Like she has done many of the same sort of things. And we've both had the same doubts and talked about that and what that looks like as an artist. I think just like releasing it and just giving it a shot, as Ozzy saying is that it just give it a crack, like just give it a crack. Yeah, and like I mean, we were obviously like when we released Room 25, that was really vulnerable for me because that song is like I've written something on my Instagram. It's on the band's Instagram. You can go read it if you want to. I'm very open about my mental health and that sort of thing. That is obviously like really um vulnerable, and I was really scared of releasing it because of that. I was like, well, now once it's out, you can't take it back. But I'm really glad I did because like it people resonated with it. I got messages from people I did know and didn't know, which was really, really cool. Being like, hey, I feel some of these feelings, like um, which yeah, that's all I ever want is, and if you've got a story to share, like just share it. I guess I feel like I'm rambling now a little
No,
bit,
no, no,
but
no. I
yeah,
completely understand what
yeah,
you're
I'm very
saying,
passionate about
Lance.
it.
I think also,
Yeah,
like, the very important thing there is that people have reached out to you and said this song's touched them in a certain way. A lot of people don't realize if you've got if you've listened to a band song and it's touched you in a way or it's resonated, actually message the band or message one of
oh
the
yeah,
members.
please do. Like it means so much. Like yeah, getting those messages was like one of the most like profound moments. It's gonna sound really like intense, but like one of the most profound moments in my life was like getting messages being like, your art touched us in this way. And it's like like I could literally ask for nothing else.
Mm,
Like um that's worth more than any of the other stuff I put together. So yeah, I think for me, it's just yeah, tell your story. Like I think that's what makes us awesome as humans. So like if you are thinking, should I start a band? Should I become an artist in any field? Like whether
mm.
that be music, theater, um. I can't think of any off the top of my head for some reason, but like any as a visual artist, whatever, and you got a sort of story to tell. That's what makes us like. That's what makes us human. That's what makes us connect. I think just do it.
Mm. Very
Yeah,
sound advice there, Lance. What advice would I give to anyone starting a YouTube channel or doing podcast interviews? Just give it a go. Literally.
100%. Yeah,
Look,
100%.
look, the first episode I was like, have I got myself into something that maybe is over my head? And then I just said, no, it's the first episode. If something goes wrong, so be it. If you're having fun,
Yeah, we figure it out as we go,
yeah.
right? Like it's like for example, if you have a look at our Spotify right now, like Room 25 is by itself because it was our first single, like in terms of when you look at the single releases, but also Hourglass is because I didn't realize that when we upload Hourglass, like how you can do it to stack Hourglass in Room 25. And I was like, oh, that's fine. Like I made a small mistake. I reached out to James Hibble from Cordy. He's like, dude, we did the same thing for our first two singles. I didn't realize. Let me help you. And that's the whole thing. The scene is happy to help. If you're like,
Mm,
dude, if you're a new band and you'd like to like message me or any of the guys being like, how do I do this thing? that's like, because you have to learn so much shit so quick. Like, how do I do all this stuff on socials? I was lucky. Hodgie has a business, so I was like, Hodgie, how do I do this? Hodgie, how do I do that? But like, if you don't have that, message someone that Like I have reached out to so many different musicians, asking, hey, do you know what? Like, can I ask you about this, or can I ask you this, or could you help me with this? People are willing to do it. If you ask, because you think of it the other way, it's like if someone asks you for help, you definitely want to help them, right? Like if someone's like, "Hey Sam, what do I do? How do I record on WebEx? Can you show me?" Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
Let me take you through it. Like people that have done it are almost always happy to help. And they're the worthy connections you make along the way, like, so yeah,
Mm.
that would just be my advice. It's like, give it a shot. Cause like, if something goes wrong, that's right. You can sort it out then. Like
Yeah.
if you release a track and that something happens, you've accidentally uploaded it wrong. That's okay. You just call the distributing guys. If you don't know how to distribute your music, ask me because I got really stressed during that. But we figured it out. Like our music's up online. So a little plug for Jaro Stream. They are fantastic. So but yeah,
I've made mistakes
yeah,
with this, Lance. Don't worry. My camera turned off
of
last
course.
interview. I had to go out and then come back in. I accidentally uploaded one
Uh,
episode twice. I still don't know how I did that.
Hey, look, and that's the thing, right? You try and learn from what happens, but at the end of the day, and this is what's cool about us being human. Like we just make mistakes, and things are a bit messy, and that's why music's cool. Because like, come see us live. I'll make a lot of mistakes, but but it's still cooler than just like listening to something that's 110% perfect, and AI generated this and AI, like, with all this stuff, like, I guess, dehumanizing us in a way, the art allows us to then humanize. And yeah, so I guess I rambled a lot in saying my advice is start. Just do it. Just do the thing. Just like release a track, reach out to people for some help, and yeah, get it going.
And I feel like if there's any better time to release music or start a band than in Australia than any other time in history, now is probably the best time.
Yeah, 100%. Like there's a lot of really, like, the scene is like really buzzing at the moment with a lot of really cool bands that are coming up. Like I feel like especially here in Melbourne, like and in Vic as a whole, like I feel like we've got all these like newer bands that are releasing really cool stuff. So yeah, it's just like a perfect time to get into it. And even if you're like not really sure where to start, as I said, just reach out to someone. Um, if you want to like message me, you can. If you want to message a different band, like just be like, hey, look, I don't know what I should do here or here. Like, what should my social media look like? I mean, all that sort of stuff. Like, what should I do for content? What should I do for this, that? Yeah, just ask. 'Cause people are happy to help, like
Mm,
almost always.
yes.
Yeah,
And if you don't ask, you never know what will happen.
that's it, 100%.
Well, that's all the questions I've got for Lance. Now, because of course Hodgie asked it before he went back to work. Now,
Mm,
Lance has the opportunity. So the tables are turned. I'm no longer the
ah.
interviewer. So,
Yeah, I actually don't really know what to ask. Before I ask you a question, I guess I just want to, like, on behalf of the scene as a whole, and as a Leanan as well, you've been really supportive for us, and the entire local scene, like really vehemently, like strong advocate for the scene. So I just want to personally say thank you so much for that. I know it's not a question, but like, thank you because we appreciate it. Everyone probably knows that being in a band is tough and it's grueling, but it's also really rewarding. But like, it's people like yourself that when they support and show support consistently and derive support for local bands, and like that's what actually helps bands grow, but also it just helps us feel like our art is being like heard and appreciated, and that's awesome. So firstly, thank you for that. In terms of a question, my question is like, how long does it take you to get to shows? Because I feel like I've read on your socials like an hour and a half each way, or am I underestimating it?
No, to be realistic, it's probably an hour and a half Warragul to Melbourne. So I'm not including the tram out to Stay Gold or Bergie Room or Bergie Room. Good on you, Sam. Bergie Band Room
No, no,
or
I know what you mean. Yeah, yeah.
Bendigo Hotel or something. So from door to door,
Damn,
it's
dude.
probably 3 hours round trip.
Whoa. All right, I'll stop complaining about my half an hour drive. I don't even complain about it, but I'm like, whenever something's at Bergie, because I'm out in the eastern suburbs, I'm like, oh, I've got to cross the city to get to Brunswick. I'll stop complaining about that
Well,
ever.
actually, Sam probably should stop complaining because Nick from Atlas lives in Stratford, which is even further than Warrigal. So the Nick
Yeah,
from
damn.
Atlas, that's dedication from fucking Stratford. He goes, it's nearly a
Yeah,
four
shit.
hour round trip. I'm like, are you serious? I'm like,
No,
fuck off.
honestly, we appreciate, and it's awesome that you're getting down to that many shows as well. Like, I think that's absolutely fantastic, honestly. So, kudos to you, man, and thank you. Like, as I said, the whole as I can speak for the whole scene, but I'll just speak for like myself and lean in today. But like, yeah, we really appreciate it. Yeah, it's awesome.
The other thing, Lance, about the scene and that is that the amount of friends I've made through just attending live music or interviewing bands.
Yeah, it's cool, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean,
It's just I think it's cool because like we are all there for the same thing. Like it's cool when you see like when you walk into a room and like a band's already playing, and you like walk into the so say like you're late for a show or whatever. It's a very like cinematic experience of walking into a room and everyone's facing forward, and there's this like really cool energy between like an audience super engaged with like watching a live show. And I've always thought that that's like it's so cool because it's really hard to get like 1,000 people. Or I mean, like we're talking metal shows, right? Like if you think of like the big dogs like your Beavers and Swift and Taylor Swift and all that sort of stuff. They've got like 100,000 people looking the same direction, all singing the same words. That is so cool, man. Like that is unbelievable. So like that's why we travel, right? And also, but that's why when we meet people that like the same art as us, I think that's why it makes these really cool connections because people tend to this is how we express ourselves. Like I express myself through my music. I like heavy shit. I like heavy music, man. Like I don't know, I just something about it gets me. But I also like folk music and really soft stuff as well. So like when I'm at those shows, I have really cool conversations with people about music and about art. And if you get me talking about music, like, oh, game over. That 20 minute chat that you had with was it Outlawed? You said 20 minute chat.
yes.
Oh man, it's hours with me. So
Oh,
I do love talking music. Yeah.
metal bands. That's what it is. I think sometimes you think, oh, I'll just have a 5 minute conversation with this person, and it turns into 20 minutes. And this is no disrespect to any of the bands out there. Please, if you're watching this, I love chatting to you, but I I sometimes think a 5 minute chat with a band is enough for me. Like I don't expect going to
Mm.
gigs and half an hour chat. If bands want to do that, fuck yeah, I'm down for it. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But what I find with live music is I it doesn't matter if I catch up with a band, don't catch up with a band, or 5 minute chat. I'm there to support the bands. If you want to chat, absolutely, but don't feel obliged to take time out of your schedule to chat to me if you've got friends and family that are there already that you might not catch up with as often.
Mm. I think though, like I think it's nice to be able to give time to people that share the like. It's just building that connection with, as I said, people that are, I guess, feeling the same emotions and love for the music as 'cause we're all there for the same sort of purpose. I know everyone gets something slightly different out of music, but we're all kind of connecting on that. So yeah, I guess it just depends on, like I love having a chat at the show. You can always come say hello to me, either yourself, Sam, or like literally anyone, because like I'm happy to have a chat about, especially about music, but just about stuff. Like I like connecting with like-minded people. And yeah, you find a lot of them at metal shows because
Yeah.
we all really like riffs. So if you like riffs, you're probably my sort of person. So
I also have noticed metal bands are the easiest to approach. Now, a lot of people would find that weird for me to say that, but I feel like metal bands just, I don't know, there's something about them. You just go up and you just instantly chat, and they're just genuine people. I think it's because maybe some people might judge the metal bands because they scream, because they got tattoos, piercings, whatever it is. But at the end of the
yeah.
day, they're just human beings.
Yeah, and I think as well, like a lot of metal is theatre, right? Like again, if you come and see us play, and anyone who has, like, I act a bit unhinged on stage, but like that's it's theatre. Like we're putting on a show where we like that music calls for that theatre, and then when I'm off stage, I can't act like that in public, but also I don't want to. Like it's that's my stage persona. I'm having fun. Ask Coach Canatelli said, I would love to have a beer with you, Lance, but I don't want to have a beer with your stage personality at all, because like it's just theatre, right? So
Yeah.
yeah, I think yeah, off stage I'm always happy to have a chat. On stage I am as well, but I'm obviously busy.
Yes.
But yeah, no, awesome.
Speaking of legends, we mentioned Ione and Jaden legend. Steve Canatelli is a legend here in the Melbourne scene and all around Australia and even
Yes, Coach,
overseas.
100%. Yeah, Coach helped us a lot. Our live show would not be what it is without him. So thanks very much, Coach.
I caught up with Coach only a couple of weeks ago. I don't catch up with Steve all that often. We're normally at different gigs to each other, or he's off band coaching someone when I'm at live music
Or
in
he,
Melbourne.
or classic Coach style. He's like at a show for one set and then going to another show, and he goes like 4 shows in a night. So you know,
Uh,
bless him, man. He's a huge advocate for the scene and incredible at what he does.
it certainly is. Well, there's one thing I don't like about interviews, Lance, and it's the only thing I don't like about them, is the end.
Oh no.
Because, like,
Uh,
honestly, this has felt like it's gone for about 5 minutes, not an hour and 25
yeah.
minutes.
Oh, it's been an hour and 25. Damn.
Oh, actually, no,
I didn't
sorry,
even
probably it
realize.
hasn't been that long, because, well, about an hour and 17, hour and 20, because I jumped on quite a few minutes
Yeah.
before, so, sorry, about an hour and a quarter.
Yeah. Yeah.
But Hodgie and Lance from Lean In, it's been an absolute pleasure having you on, as it has with all the guests that have jumped on so far.
Oh man, thank you so much for having us. And yeah, really, really appreciate it. Hope we see you at the show soon. Sorry. And yeah, for everyone watching, we got something in store for you very soon. So follow us on socials because something right around the corner.
Ooh, watch this space, as they
Yeah.
say.
Oh,
uh,
that's it. What do they say? Big things coming soon.
yeah.
Yeah.
And for anyone that wants to check out Lean In, of course they are on Spotify, and check out Hourglass, Compulsion, Room 25. Listen to them on repeat.
Please do. We'd love that. We'd absolutely love it. And if you like it, please send us a message and let us know because that would mean the world to us.
And this episode, yep, it will definitely be up sometime tomorrow morning. If I got my ass into gear, I could actually get it done tonight. But we'll wait and
Hey,
see.
take your time, man. Take your time.
But
100%.
yeah, to
Awesome.
Lance and
Excited for it.
Hodgie from Lean In, it's been an absolute pleasure. And enjoy the rest of your Saturday, and we'll catch up again soon.
Thanks very much, Sam.
No
Appreciate it.
worries.
Cheers, mate.
Catch up.
Thank you.
Bye.
See ya.